Hello and welcome back to Seropie'sShelf. I'm your host Seropie, and today we're going to be playing Bowling from 1999 for the PlayStation 1, made by not Al Games, not AI Games, but A1 Games. That image is interesting with, the modern context. But so I'm not gonna lie to you, I just did this whole thing and then realized that my audio was not recording, so I've just played this whole thing. There are only 3 game modes. It's a very short game. It also really likes to show the demo. For some reason, see, I just didn't click fast enough. I didn't press a button fast enough, and it was just like, hey, let's go into the demo. Now I have to go back through the title cards, and there we go. Game. So, there are 3 game modes, standard, quest, and special. And we're just going to go through. Notice I have the guard on. I'm going to have the guard on this whole time. This just, I don't bowl. I'm not a bowler. But also, something that I want to make sure to mention is, so you can like turn up the power, turn down the power, a little funky jingle whenever you do this. And you can move left and right. Yeah, I want to turn it. I want to go this way, turn it all the way up, and based upon the timing, that was fine. It was fine. It wasn't very good. It was fine. But yeah, so that's something. But they're the bumpers, so you can take advantage of the bumpers. I'm gonna have this go to the right. Whoa. Yeah. All right. So that was good. I got a spare. Now, when I was a child, I learned, because I didn't really have... I don't think the music is supposed to sound like that. I don't think the track was supposed to do that. Oh, wait. I learned that you just go over here, go to max power, and you just blast it. And it's a strike basically every time. As long as you get the timing thing right, because that varies with each one, you can't do it perfectly every single time. But it's like within a window. And this is all stuff I did in fact just play through this and then realize that the audio was not recording. But it's fine. But we're just gonna like blast our way. Oh, see, this is bad. This is not gonna make it. Oh, it did! Oh ho! Oh ho! Oh ho! That's a double. Some funky music. Now, of course, this is back in the age when we're like, oh, we've got gaming systems at home. We're just going to put all of the games that exist. What games exist? And we're going to, like, basically unmodify them. And just make them electronic. And then people will pay for it because, hey, it's the PlayStation 1 era. Like, let's just... We have 3D graphics now. Oh, we can put all the games on all the things. So this is, not quite Wii Sports Resort bowling, but is pretty close. I'm not going to bowl a perfect game here, but I am going to get pretty darn close. I guarantee you. It's going to come pretty close. This is obviously I can't bowl a perfect game. I messed up the first frame, but still, this is going to be... Here we go. It might be a mess up. Nope, not a mess up. Not outside of that timing window. You can see how forgiving it is. That's a 5th. Some fancy music. That's some fancy music. Obviously, you can do this multiplayer. You can keep adding people. You can pass around the controller. There's more. There we go. I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen at some point. Eventually, it's not going to get every single one. And I have no idea why. Because it works most of the time. But we're gonna do this, and we're gonna yeet it to the left. Hard turn. Bang. Still got a spare, though. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. I will definitely take it. Man, it's really trying to play this track, but it's really having issues. It's trying so hard to play this track. It just stopped. It's Incredible. You know, I could be trying things from different angles. And we'll see. You know, that's another strike. I do just want to get higher. I just have a goal of getting better than my previous game here, which I actually about to pretty soundly surpass. But you can see it's not a particularly... You could do it without the bumpers on. You can see it's not a particularly hard game. There are some mechanics, there's some stuff going on. You don't really have a lot of the, like, stuff that while you're bowling in real life, like, matters. You know, you've just got the one ball weight. You've just got the, which, if you are into bowling, you should only have one ball weight, right? You're just going to use your own balls, but if you're just going to a bowling alley, they've got a bunch of different balls that you're going to borrow, and like, what are you going to do with that? You know, what, like, you're not going to be super specific. You pick 2 weights and then you stick with those 2 weights. At least that's what I do. Do have a friend who's trying to get me into bowling, and it's fun. It's very interesting to see like how he does it, because he's so much better at it than I am. And most of the time when I'm doing this, when I'm bowling, I'm just trying whatever technique it is that he's taught me, because I'm good, really good. I have a strong arm, so I'm really good at just throwing the ball down the oh, this might not be a strike. There's a strike. Just throwing the ball as hard as I can down the lane and just getting it to go super straight. I'm very good at that. I can do that very easily. It's getting it to actually hit all the pins, because any bowler will tell you you can't go in straight on. You have to go at an angle in order to get the optimal position. And this is, you know, 269 is pretty great. I'm pretty happy with that. Look at that. I beat my previous score of 197. Special, we'll get to it in a little while. There are 24 frames on the quest. That's crazy. But we're just gonna do this. Showcase this particular thing. It's wow, it took a little while for the music to actually start. Okay, and this you actually have to hit like things that are grouped together. That we got to be a little bit more careful about. Oh, right past the gutter. Are you kidding me? So the balls that you have are, I am all the way to the left. No. So you have to like actually hit it. I did so much better previously. You can see I got up to the 4th frame. Come on. There we go. So you lose a ball if you don't clear the frame, which is kind of absurd. And you just keep going until you go down to 0. Again, kind of really absurd. That like that's the bar. You can see I made it to the 4th frame previously, and that's since sitting down to play this here. This is a little weird. I want to come in there and then stay to the left. Why am I staying to the left so much? Oh, what? The ball should have had some momentum to keep going. Are you kidding me? But something that I've learned is that the ball loses all momentum. Another faux realism. There you go. The ball loses all angular momentum as soon as it hits a pin. The game just stops calculating it entirely. So the only way that you can hit multiple pins, and then the pins it starts calculating the angular momentum for. But the only way that you can hit everything is, I don't know why I did this the way that I did this, but I did it poorly. That was real bad. I should have put a lot more power on that. Try this again. See? It just stops. Like, it should have kept going and hit the 3, but it didn't. So we're just gonna do like that. Oh, bad. Very bad. Alright, well I got to the 3rd frame. Not as good as getting to the 4th frame. I understand. That's fine. I'm not gonna go any further with this. I'm not gonna keep trying. Apparently there are 24 frames, which is wild to me. I'm not good enough at this. I'm not going to get good enough at this. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm not enjoying myself that much, you know? So, didn't even show up on the quest board. Uh, and there's so much going on. Now this is a ridiculous mode. I have some fond memories of, excuse me, this mode specifically. Excuse me. Look at that. There are 45 pins, and you get 3 throws per frame. We're just gonna yeet. That did okay, but really, like, the issue with where it stops calculating any sort of vectors, it's a big issue. It's like why? Like, the ball should have kept curving to the left, and it's just not curving at all, which is just not how it works. You know, there's no residual hitbox for the wow, that was terrible. And that's why you don't want to hit the front pin in actual bowling either, because that's what'll happen. There's no residual hitbox for the bowling ball after it hits the first pin. Like, that should have hit another pin. And I also don't think that the pins themselves have very much, like, of a residual hitbox. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. That was kind of a wild way for everything to fall. But we're going to try this from a different angle, see how it goes. Huh, alright. But it still goes. I mean, you still have something. But I just don't think this game is programmed very well. Which, again, you know, PS1, still, we were just like, oh, we can get 3D animations. So exciting. Very exciting. I can throw this ball literally however I want it, and I'm going to hit some number of pins. Like, this is part of the special mode, is like, it's so hard to not hit pins. It's so hard to not hit pins. The only way you can really not hit pins is, like, if by knocking down a lot of them early and then never getting any sort of ooh, like that. I guess just going through a hole. But this really is a very, very easy game mode. Ooh, that, yeah, I knocked down a lot early. So this is, I mean, this is a prime example of a way to not hit any pins. Oh, I hit one. You know, easily above 200, which is not at all, like, reasonable. Oof. Yeah, that was exactly the same throw. Huh? It's not going to hit anything. Let's go to the left this time. Let's go all the way to the left. Ooh, that was not at all the way to the left. That was very much so in the middle. It's an interesting, like, how do we design a game to have a lot of minutia of real life? I just think you really mess up by not having the bowling ball continue to have a hitbox. There we go. Yeah. By having it not continue to have a hitbox except for straight on, and also deleting any sort of angular momentum that it has. That was a good hit. That was a good hit. Throw, I guess, is what it's called, but it's just so strange. Obviously, it's not supposed to be, you know, regular candlepin bowling. It's a little bit different than that, but I may or may not. Yeah, okay. I did not beat my previous record for this, but that's fine. 279. Still easy. Still place third place on the leaderboard. That's fine. Totally fine. Second place is also me. Look at this. Oh, I placed fourth place. Oh, no. Wow, 280 was the threshold, huh? It's got some funky music. Okay. And that's really it. Like, really, truly, that's all that this game is. The quest is the only thing that has, like, interesting stuff. It seems like it goes on forever. I don't know. I'm not interested in figuring that out and trying it significantly further. It is it's a let's port a real thing into people's living rooms. I do enjoy the music, but let's get into the ratings here. This is gonna be a one shot. So obviously, because I'm not doing quest 4, that's the only thing I haven't completed at this point. So gameplay. How is it gameplay wise? It's not that interesting, and in fact, it's nowhere near as interesting as going bowling in real life. Right? A big part of going bowling in real life, and this is I'm playing this as a single player game, so that's a thing that I'm doing wrong. But a big part of bowling in real life is hanging out with people, is having a good time, like enjoying the people that you're with, enjoying being in good company, and also having a thing that you're doing together, having a game that you're playing together. This, I guess, does that, but it doesn't do it very well. Oh man, music just cut out. Just sudden music cutting out. But it does that. And I guess it's nowhere near as interesting as going up and actually throwing a ball down a lane, because of the like very, very simple mechanics. You've got left, right, up, down, and power. Left, right, moving yourself. Left and right, up, down, and power, moving yourself. Or up, down, and power. R1 and L1 to angle, and then you've got the timing mechanic, which I've never been a big fan of, like those kinds of timing mechanics where it's like, oh, you gotta hit this thing at just the right time. This is actually a less bothersome to me expression of that, because it's not like, oh, you hit it perfectly within the time. It's like you just throw it, and that's going to affect the timing is going to affect how the ball gets angled. Like, that's a lot more interesting to me. That was a little skip there in the music. That's a lot more interesting to me, because it's not just like, oh, you hit it at the right time, you win, or oh, you didn't hit it at the right time, you lose. It's like it actually affects it. It affects something else. It is secondary. It's a secondary mechanic. It's not the primary mechanic for continuation, for completion of whatever your goal is. So for that, I'll give it a benefit. That's more interesting. Otherwise, it's not that interesting. It's not that fun. They add a couple of things. I really like the 45 pin thing. I think that's the most fun. You find a position that it can cheese. You just cheese it the whole time, man. It's so easy to cheese, and that's kind of the problem with these computerized versions of real life activities, where there's so many just minor details that aren't possible to calculate for a computer between real life and what's possible on a computer, right? Like, we don't live in a simulation, or if we do, it's on a, I think I remember seeing an article that was disproven somehow, but if we do, it's on a computer that is running at way, way higher fidelity than anything like this. Like, the difference in the friction of the wax is not present. How the ball rolls with the weight inside of it, that's not present. How your timing for letting go is kind of represented by like the steppings aspect, and like if you don't throw it and before the fourth step, it just falls out of your hands. Like, there's just aspects to real life that make this so much more interesting. There's how you're holding the ball. There's the I already mentioned the weight of the ball, but there's so many things that just I'm not particularly impressed by this. I'm gonna give this gameplay, I'm gonna give it a 2. I wasn't quite bored, but I was almost bored playing this. I do think it is that. So then difficulty, did you figure out how to cheese it? Great, you win. Did you not figure out how to cheese it? I mean, there's some experimentation that you can do. I bet you could do a couple of challenges to make this more difficult. The quest, obviously, I didn't really go into because I didn't want to put time and the effort in order to do that. So difficulty, you figure out how to cheese it, it's a 1 out of 10. If you don't, I'd say it's a 3 out of 10. It's not that hard. And it's also very easy to figure out how to cheese. Then design, I mean, music is great. what it isn't glitching, which that's just because this is a disc from 1999 and the year's 2025. This might be coming out in 2026. Happy New Year if it is. Probably is actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, but it's 26 years later. I don't think this disc anybody expected this disc to still be alive and functional at this point. It's fine. I'm not worried about the glitches. What I am worried about is, the color scheme is fine. It's basic. There's not that much to work with. I do enjoy the little jingles that play, that it's so dead silent when you're throwing the ball. I think it's supposed to be like you gotta focus. I think that's actually a bad thing. You're just in a black void with a bowling alley lane, which is kind of terrifying. Visually, it's fine. There's not really anything. I'm just looking around and poking around the menu to see if there's anything that looks particularly interesting. It looks like a horror movie when you start up. It looks like a horror game. I'm going into the tutorial and it's showing me things. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, just looking at it, I really like that there's the little 1 through 10, you can see what pins you've hit and what pins you haven't hit. I do really like that. Otherwise, it's just bowling. It's just bowling. It's the same game that it's been since it was invented in the 50s. I have no idea when bowling was invented, actually. Sorry, I apologize to everybody who that might offend. But anyway, design-wise, it's running the tutorial. That's what this noise is. Yeah, they got a strike. Anyway, so it's showing it again. It's showing it multiple times. I do like that. Anyway, design, I think this was just pumped out. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10. I don't think this is good. I'm hesitant to give it a 1 out of 10, but because it does have something going for it. It's showing a demo now. But I think a 2 out of 10 is right. Replayability. I'm never playing this again. 1 out of 10. Not interested. There's no real value. It doesn't feel good to replay. It's I bowled this. I'd rather go bowling in real life. I would so much rather go bowling in real life. 1 out of 10. Nostalgia. I loved cheesing this. This is going to be a very surprising score with all the previous scores. I loved cheesing this as a kid. It's going to be a 4 out of 10. I really have good memories of just throw it at the bumpers and you could figure. And I remember figuring that out with my sister, and we were like, wait, how did we? She did it, and I was like, how did you just do that? And she was just like, I don't know, I was just bored. She was totally just a bored tween, and I was just an excited little kid, and she just push it all the way to on one side and just went. She was like, God, I don't want to play this with him, but I guess I'll play this with him. And that's a good memory. I know it's like a good childhood growing up memory. So it is a 4. That's all I'm doing on this. This is not one of my favorite games, and it's a one shot. This is a very quick game. There's not much to it. But thank you everyone for joining me. And for right now, I'm going to be putting Bowling from 1999 for the PlayStation 1, A1 Bowling, right back up on that channel.